Everyone knows that the Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Detroit Lions, and Green Bay Packers are among the primary favorites to win Super Bowl 60 this season. But which teams have the potential to stun the world by going on a deep run and pulling off an improbable Cinderella story? Today, we present to you 8 NFL teams that could realistically shock us all by winning Super Bowl 60. Las Vegas Raiders. Unhappy with a dismal 4-win season after coming aboard as minority owner, Tom Brady said enough and got Mark Davis to make some sweeping changes. Hey, we think a 7-time Super Bowl champion might know a thing or two about winning compared to one of the worst owners in NFL history. The Raiders brought in future Hall of Famer and renowned culture builder Pete Carroll as their new head coach. This man turned a mediocre Seattle Seahawks franchise into an absolute juggernaut and posted a 606 winning percentage in his 14 years with the organization. And Carroll isn't inheriting a lousy roster either. Oh no, not after new GM John Spytek traded for ex-Seahawks Pro Bowl quarterback Geno Smith, who should make a very smooth transition into an offense that he's very familiar with. Smith, by the way, is absolutely loaded with playmakers. Brock Bowers just had the greatest rookie tight end season in history, with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner freaking Minshew as his quarterbacks. Now imagine what he'll do with the Pro Bowl signal caller throwing him the ball. The Raiders used the number 6 pick on generational running back Ashton Gency. Putting him in Carroll's rush-heavy offense, well, there is no telling how much the Boise State product will produce in year 1. The defense has a lot of question marks outside of Max Crosby, but Carroll had a knack for turning nobodies into big-time stars while he was in Seattle. And if this offense reaches its potential, the defense doesn't have to be elite for Seattle to have a chance. If everything clicks together and Carroll implements his fun-loving culture right away, then who knows? The Raiders could end decades of misery with an improbable Super Bowl run. Just saying, man, crazier things have certainly happened. Chicago Bears. If there is one good reason to be skeptical about the Bears returning to the playoffs this year, it's the fact that they play in football's toughest division. But it is mathematically and scientifically possible for all 4 teams in one division to make the postseason. And hey, who knows? Maybe the Minnesota Vikings or Detroit Lions will take an unexpected step back and open the door for the Bears to make their jump. Division difficulty. There is a lot to love about this new-look Bears team. They snagged the top head coaching candidate of 2025 and former Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, who promises to be a mega upgrade over Matt Eberflus. The Bears allowed Williams to take a league-high 68 sacks last season, but they acquired Drew Dahlman, Joe Tooney, and Jonah Jackson to bolster the unit. There's just zero chance that this O-line can be bad again. Oh, and the weapons. Oh, are they beautiful. Williams had a dynamic receiving tandem of DJ Moore and Rome Odunze last year, plus capable 1,000-yard running back DeAndre Swift. Oh, and the Bears drafted tight end Colson Loveland and wideout Luther Burden III with their first 2 picks, giving Williams even more weapons. The Bears finished a respectable 13th against the pass last year, and honestly, the unit just has to be slightly above average for them to have a chance. They have a rock-solid secondary led by Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Tyreek Stevenson, and Jalen Johnson. But the pass rush and run D definitely need to improve. The main thing is if Coach Johnson can unlock this offense potential and help Williams take that next step forward after a stellar year. If they can do that, then the Bears are going to be downright scary. The talent is there for them to emerge as a Super Bowl contender, but the real challenge is living up to it. Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons looked like a dark horse Super Bowl contender for the first half of 2024, jumping out to a 6-3 start that included a win over the eventual champion Philadelphia Eagles and a season series sweep at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But you all know the rest. Kirk Cousins imploded in November and December before losing his starting job to rookie Michael Penix Jr. Though the Washington product elevated the offense, Atlanta's defense continued to unravel as they fell to a disappointing 8-9 finish. Well, the good news is that the Falcons are committing to Penix and not letting Cousins ruin their season again. We're not sure if Penix will be a star in year 2, but he'll at least avoid the crippling turnovers that Cousins repeatedly committed last year. Penix Jr. plays behind arguably the NFL's best offensive line and has 4 1,000-yard weapons and superstar running back Bijan Robinson, tight end Kyle Pitts, and wideouts Drake London and Darnell Mooney. The pass rush has been a bit of an issue as of late, but the Falcons now boast Leonard Floyd and a pair of first-round picks in James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker to anchor the front 7. If those 3 can make the impacts expected of them, it'll put less strain on the A.J. Terrell and Jesse Bates-led secondary. The Falcons also play in a terrible division, so winning 9 or 10 games may be enough to lock down a playoff spot. And hey, if the Falcons qualify, we're sure opposing teams would be kind of nervous about having to play a team with this much talent level. Hey, nobody saw the Falcons making a Super Bowl run in 2016, so why can't this team, with more young talent and playmakers on defense, do something similar? New York Jets. All right. I know, you're sitting there and thinking, this sounds way too crazy and far-fetched. There ain't no way the Jets are making the Super Bowl, let alone winning it. But please, hear us out. Now, we know, the Jets' attempt to build a super team around Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams failed mightily. But it's a clean slate with a new head coach in Aaron Glenn, as well as GM Darren Muji and new starting quarterback in Justin Fields. The Jets will run the ball aplenty with Breece Hall and their new dual-threat quarterback while leaning on their stingy defense to close out games. That style of play can still work in today's NFL, as we saw with the Los Angeles Chargers and Washington Commanders last year. Fields just has to be above average with Hall and star wide receiver Garrett Wilson as his go-to weapons. The Sauce Gardner-led defense has the potential to be a top 10 unit, and it simply has to be if the Jets are to have a chance this year. Okay, yeah, there are a lot of ifs here, but it's not unrealistic to think that this can all come true this year. If Fields can operate a ball control offense and the D regains its elite form that we saw in 2023, the Jets could shock the world and actually make a run at the Lombardi Trophy. I mean, they went to consecutive AFC Championship games in 2009 and 2010 with Mark freaking Sanchez. Believe us, Fields is already miles better than Sanchez ever was. Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals appeared to be onto something last year when they stood at 6-4 and in the mix for the NFC West Division crown. But in a trend that has become all too worrisome and common in the Kyler Murray era, the Redbirds collapsed in the second half and lost 6 of their final 8 games to finish 8-9. One issue that let the Cardinals down was a horrific pass rush, where Zaven Collins led the team with only 5 sacks. GM Monty Austinfort refused to play around, however, signing ex-Eagles star edge rusher Josh Sweat and future Hall of Famer Calais Campbell to bolster this defensive line. Then, with his first-round pick, Austinfort took explosive edge rusher Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. Oh, and the Cardinals snagged Michigan corner Will Johnson in round 2. You may recall that he was expected to be a top 10 pick before a knee injury scared away opposing teams. Yeah, good luck throwing the ball against Johnson and Buda Baker. The offense has sky-high potential too. I mean, we're still waiting to see if Murray can put together a strong season from start to finish, but how do you not get excited with future All-Pro Marvin Harrison Jr., superstar tight end Trey McBride, and the dynamic James Conner as your main weapons? Austinfort addressed the pressing issues on Arizona's defense. The offense has immense potential with Murray and 3 capable 1,000-yard weapons. If Murray can stop napping in the second half, there's a not-too-crazy scenario where Arizona sneaks into the postseason and rides a potent offense and hard-hitting defense to a Super Bowl. Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins finished a disappointing 8-9 last season, but that was largely because of Tua Tagovailoa's 6-game absence and the lousy play of his backup QBs. So, yeah, Tagovailoa has to stay healthy for Miami to have a chance. But if that happens, then Miami is a dark horse to win it all. Tagovailoa has a 38-24-0 record as Miami's starting quarterback. Question his contract all you want, but the fact remains that the Dolphins are a very dangerous team when he's on the field. But that's still the key word, when he's on the field. So if Tua stays healthy, you have him throwing to arguably the NFL's best receiving tandem in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Devon Chan racked up 1,499 yards of offense in his first healthy season, and it still feels like he can kick it into another gear. Okay, so offense needs Tua to stay healthy. If that happens, great. How about that defense, though? Miami allowed the 10th fewest points last year, even though star pass rusher Bradley Chubb missed the entire year. And even though Jalen Phillips was limited to 4 games, the good news is that Chubb and Phillips are cleared for takeoff, giving the Finns a 3-headed pass rushing trio alongside Chop Robinson, who had a stellar 2024 rookie year. The secondary added old friend and all-pro safety Minkah Fitzpatrick and brought in Rasul Douglas, whose track record suggests that he'll bounce back after a disappointing stint with the Buffalo Bills. So a healthy Tagovailoa will give Miami a top 10 offense. Chubb, Phillips, Robinson, Fitzpatrick, and Douglas headline a dangerous nucleus on defense. With some better health luck, the Dolphins are absolutely capable of returning to title contention and making a surprise run in January, and perhaps even beyond. Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks finished 10-7 under first-year head coach Mike Macdonald last year, which was their best record since 2020. They've kind of been stuck in the mushy middle since the Legion of Boom broke up in 2018, but there is reason to believe that they can build off off last year's strong finish. McDonald unlocked the potential of this Seattle defense, something Pete Carroll just could never do. They went from 25th in scoring defense to 11th over 1 year, and ranked 11th against the pass. Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love, and Kobe Bryant led a stout secondary last year, and it could be even better if Rick Woolen could discover that superstar-like form that we saw in his 2022 rookie year. The pass rush is loaded with depth, with Leonard Williams, Derek Hall, and Boye Mafe combining for 25 sacks. They also signed ex-Dallas Cowboys star DeMarcus Lawrence to help the run defense, which could also drastically improve if 2024 first-round pick Byron Murphy bounces back from a tough rookie year. The offense is a bit of an enigma. Can Sam Darnold sustain his success after a career year with the Minnesota Vikings? We'd like to think that he'll at least be above average, since he has Jackson Smith-Njigba, Cooper Kupp, and the stout running back duo of Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet as his main weapons, but we're gonna have to see it. Ultimately, it comes down to the offense. If Darnold proves to be an upgrade over Geno Smith, the club that won 10 years ago can absolutely emerge as a championship contender. New England Patriots. There is just far too much to love about the Patriots' 2025 offseason. Was Robert Kraft's decision to fire Jared Mayo after 1 year a bit too harsh? Yeah, maybe. But there is no question that they upgraded a head coach by bringing in former Patriots star linebacker Mike Vrabel, who posted a .545 winning percentage in his 6 seasons with the Tennessee Titans. So you have a former Coach of the Year award winner who happens to be familiar with the Patriots' winning culture. That is a pretty big win to start your offseason. Oh, but the fun was only just beginning. Needing to upgrade the atrocious offensive line in front of Drake May, the Pats used the number 4 pick on prized LSU tackle Will Campbell and added 2 stud veterans in Garrett Bradbury and Morgan Moses. The Patriots also signed former All-Pro wideout Stephon Diggs to fulfill their WR1 role. A second-round pick was used on Travian Henderson to form a dangerous RB tandem with Ramondre Stevenson, and grabbing Washington State wideout Kyle Williams in the 3rd round could go down as the biggest draft heist of the year. And then, in order to bolster the front 7, the Pats brought in Super Bowl 59 hero Milton Williams and workhorse linebacker Robert Spillane. Wanting to get more depth in the secondary, they picked up former Tampa Bay mainstay Carlton Davis in free agency, adding a dangerous running mate at corner to help Christian Gonzalez. We know winning the offseason is different than the regular season, but you have a proven winner of a head coach, a promising young quarterback, and a ridiculous set of offensive weapons, all complemented by a great mix of young and veteran studs on defense. With all this, the Pats could definitely make it to the Super Bowl. But hey, which other NFL teams could shock us all by winning Super Bowl 60? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.